Good day, family. It's Shay Seeking again, and welcome back to the channel. Um, yeah, so yesterday I went through some of the ways that hmm, for reigners, okay, that were sent here to reign on the earth, which is you, in the biblical text, gave these gifts of diplomacy to diplomatic members of society that were in connections with them, or those that were helping them advance in the Americas, whether they were native, indigenous, or aboriginal. Okay. And so, um, yeah, there's some things that have to be said about this, because we need to know that it wasn't only a certain group of people that looked a certain way that were the ones that were responsible for our condition. We have to know that there was those that had infiltrated or been in our groups that may not have been original, more than likely, but some may have been, that were sold, that were sellouts, or those that um decided to keep their lives, maybe, in order to, for you to even be here, in order to live another day. Okay. Um, so again, when there is something uh, like this so-called history, or this story that we're trying to put back together, we have to be able to put all the pieces in, even if they don't sit right with you. Okay. This is the only way that we're going to be able to get the truth. We have to look at all sides and all angles of it. Okay. So again, we're just going to look at a couple of verses here in the biblical text that are talking about a breastplate. Okay. I just looked up verses about breastplate. Okay. Because it's hard to, you know how it is. It's hard to read through the text to find these things. So things like this, it may not be saying every single time, you know what I'm saying, that it's talking about breastplate, but this is a good outlook as to see when we're talking about breastplates, what we may possibly be talking about. Okay. And this is a way to pull it up quickly, again, to make your life a little bit easier. So, you guys know I like to read from my Living Bible, but today we're going to read what it has here. Okay. So Ephesians 6:14, stand therefore, having fastened on your belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness. Okay. So again, righteousness, and what is righteousness in someone's eyes? What would be righteousness in the originals that were having these things happening to them? What was it in their eyes? Who were they looking to when they were talking about righteous people? Who would be righteous when it talks about your oppressor and his ways and what he wanted them to do? So again, we have to be careful about who we're talking about and what not. Okay. So Ephesians 6:10 through 18. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on your whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil, or evil. Okay? You see that there? You take this away, and what do you have? Evil. Okay? And again, what would be the devil, or what would be evil? Those that wanted to fight against this governing force that was coming in, or this entity that was coming in to lay their mark on your land and do some of the things that they were doing. Okay. Um, so in the original's eyes, evil would be foreigners coming in and doing what they were doing to the people in order to take their nationality, their birthrights, and their heritage, and their culture, and everything else. And then, well, uh, it would go the other way around when we're talking about those foreigners. I'm sorry. Evil would be those coming to do what they did to us. Okay. And killing and pillaging and all that thing. Okay. But to them, evil would be those who are trying to mix with their newcomers or their children and turn them back into darkness. It would be those who want to go against the government and fight against the government from what they were doing, even if it was evil. Okay. This is kind of like the past that you give this God in the way that religion has taught you to worship it on a daily basis. Okay. And that's good. Okay. Or God is the same thing. If you add one more O, you have good. And again, so what would be good? Well, God or one of the gods of creation in Genesis told you, whenever he made something light, he went around making things light, it was good. Okay? Because also he was trying to make things that look like who? Him. Okay? And that happened all over the whole world, not just in Africa and not just here in America. Okay? So we go to First Thessalonians 5 and 8. But since we belong to the day, okay, now let's get this. Because remember in Genesis, God made the sun to rule over the day and the moon to rule over the night or the darkness. Or, see? Mm, sorry. So, you know, again, I like to be in the book so I can look a little bit, at the verse before and after to see who we're talking about. I like to go back to the beginning. But again, that's why it takes so long, and I don't want to have to do that today. So we're just going to do it like this and try to just see what we see. Again, it is okay. Again, I'm not here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. Okay, to provoke thought or a different way of thinking. Okay. So all I'm trying to point out to people is that no, God is not what they told you it was. That may be their representation of a God or their idea of a God. But yours is something different, and that has been withheld from you, and is something more inwardly than all of the idolatry and all the things that go along with religion or religion, that they use, and that they've sucked you into doing it their way, which is why you don't get any results because you're too busy worshiping or looking to this God of theirs and their Savior, which looks like them, which will never come back for you. Okay? We have to remember there's something deep inside of us, being the originals around the whole world and maybe mixed with so many different originals from around the whole world. So again, we are holding something else in our DNA that is too strong. And this is why they have to give the perception that these horrible things are happening to so called Black people. This is why they do some of the things and some of these psyops and some of these things that they pull in order to mess with your subconscious, to mess with your energy, your frequency, these type of things. Okay. So some of this stuff, of course, is happening, but is it happening on that scale, or are they making it on a national scale by portraying it a certain way so that you feel a certain way? Again, because you are the only people here in this nation that they do that to. And it's something like a torture. It's something like a torture, especially for our children. Okay. So anyway, let's keep going. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers. Okay. So again, I think at some point in time they're going to talk about dark rulers. I was reading something about the rulers, or the rulers even in dark places. So again, we have to really think who we're talking about right now. Is this a foreigner telling their portion or their children, the foreign god telling their children what they're wrestling against? Or is this someone warning you as to what you're wrestling against? See? So let's keep going. So we wrestle against flesh and blood. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers. Okay. Yeah, there's something about rulers of darkness. Okay, sorry. Against the authorities. Okay. The author. You see author there? Against, which also reminds me of scribes for some reason right now. Against the cosmic powers over this present darkness. The cosmic powers over this present darkness. Now, anyways, if this is God and saying put on the armor of God, well, why would he be worrying about the cosmic if this has something to do with uh, the luminaries? Why would this be any concern? So then we would have to go ahead and look what cosmic actually really means. Okay. Okay. The universe, okay, is described as something also out there in the atmosphere. Again, none of us can go and verify this. We can only take their word for it. But I know that there is some form of a universe that is within the body of the original people, meaning uh, uh, some things like Saturn and things like this could be describing different uh, things that are going on within the workings of the actual body of the originals, heavily melanated galactic motherfuckers that's on this planet right now. Period. Okay. So in that light, okay. So again, who knows? We're just looking in at it and seeing if we just even want to go further, if we get an understanding over their present darkness against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. Now, heaven, they say that there's 7 heavens. Some people think there's more than that. Some people think there's only one heaven. Some people think it's in the sky. Some people, like me, believe and know that there is a form of heaven in the caste system and is symbolic for heaven, okay, or the abode of God, or a high throne or seat for God and his children that is higher than the original people. Also, I know that there is a sense of a heaven, okay, in your body. Again, like I told you, when you look at that pyramid, think about someone sitting Indian style. When you look at the caste system pyramid, think of someone sitting in Indian style, and think of, instead of those platforms there and those different sections of the caste system or the classes, think of that being your body and lining up with the root chakra all the way up to the crown or corona chakra. Okay. So again, the chakra, or even like I showed you on that image the other day, what does that really mean? What does that torch that is at the top of that being, being the Baphomet, what does that light really represent? Even the light that was over the head of George Washington in that image, what does that actually represent? Is there something that needs to be activated? Does your pineal gland have to be activated? Have they done a good job of sealing your pineal gland with the garbage that they teach you in religion and church? The false notion and narrative that they've given us, the false perception. Okay. And again, there's something going on that may be activating that and getting your juices flowing again. Okay. So therefore take up, so again, in our sense, because everything is within us and everything was modeled after us, then whenever they talk about space and all this stuff, I don't know. I see those things, okay, those attributes, okay. So again, the heavens, my heaven for me is within, and it's in my head. It's in my mind, in a safe place in my mind's eye, again, where I have free will to feed and fuel that, or I can keep on going with the way that the world wants me to work. Okay. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil days. So again, you just said the schemes of the devil, and now withstand in the evil days. And having done all, to stand firm. Again, some of these people, again, and okay, standing firm may even make me think of standing on that square. Okay. Oh, also, even standing on that square, then you wonder, hmm, the position of the feet of some of these people when they're in their stance. So I don't know. Okay. So to stand firm, again, I know that when I am on this journey, I am only standing firm and I am only going up. There is no backing down. There is no backing down at this point. Okay. So again, we can look at it both ways, but this word was not, it's meant to inspire something in you and activate different levels of understanding, using discernment. You know what I'm saying? It's not really, it's telling you a storyline, but you can grasp from what they're saying and use them in your life today. This is why, again, maybe this is why this is called the Living Bible, because again, I feel like these words are living words. This is why you can read something in this text and come back and see something not a whole different way, but the same way, but you get a deeper understanding every time you go in. Okay. Things that you didn't notice that you saw before that you see. Okay. Let's see. Fastening your belt, having put on the breastplate of righteousness. Okay. So again, we saw some of those images I showed you yesterday with other chieftain wearing or of latter days, okay, wearing these plates on their chest. And let's see if we can pull one up. Again, with the sash here, putting on this sash here. And then the apron around around the waist or whatever. Let's see. No, this is what we read yesterday. So we can actually remove this. Um, let's see. Again, notice that most of these people, like besides this person, has like a necklace on or something like that. This person over here has a breastplate. He has a hat. It just seems like chaos is really going on around this time in here. Okay, it really does. And someone on a high platform, you know. Again, he has this plumed feather standing straight up. Again, it reminds me of the Baphomet with the wings here. Him holding something in one hand, the other hand is a little bit lower. Um, on a throne or sitting, he has this in this face of a, it looked like a Caucasian male on his chest or on his stomach. Uh, I'm pretty sure no one looked like this. I'm pretty sure this is something that is symbolic for something else. We see serpents here. Um, uh, Mexicanorum, idolon, Mexican moron. And I don't know what this says. But anyhow, you can see that this looks like different people from all walks coming into this area here. And like I said, I don't think that this is and this is his staff or some cane or something like this. But I don't think that this is what an actual person looked like is what I'm saying. This represents or embodies something else, okay? Probably something that has to do with the Baphomet. And again, there's a torch here. Oh, they're all over the place, but again, we just can't forget that we just seen this in the George Washington image and the Baphomet image. Okay, so let's see. There was another one I wanted to show you guys. This one here. Okay, so this is from that the New World, the latest and greatest, having something to do with our Arnaldo Mantanas, and yeah. So again, this person has some plates on his chest. Again, there's no image there, though it's bare. We have something like the feathers that kind of look like those things again with something here. And then we see light streaking behind him. Again, you can say it's far-fetched or not, but it is a torch or some flame or something. So again, like I told you before, this may not have ever happened exactly like this, but this is the perception, or it links up, or it has clues to something. Okay, even this sun sitting over here watching from the shore or from over here. And then you see most of these people don't have something on their chest, but there's one here and there's one guy here and he has the whole shield. And then this guy right here, look at, okay, he has one thing on his shoulder or whatever. I don't know. This could be their dress, but he has some fancy, it looks like they're outside somewhere, but he has a fancy table here. These people have feathered crowns, but you see this, he's pouring out some water. I mean, and it almost reminds me of the water bearer or Aquarius, or the pouring out of water, but also washing yourself and making yourself clean. And this kind, he kind of looks German, or even like a darker skinned German, or the features. Uh, what is it, man? Not New South Wales. I don't know. I'm getting some kind of features here. Um, these look like Origines here, but his features look a lot different, and so do his. Okay, so this is reminding me of some other group. I don't know. The features are just throwing me off here. Swedes or something. Okay, so again, he's pouring this water. Okay, on this group here. Now what is this talking about? Even see, look, I'll be looking at stuff like this, like even the shape of this person here wearing this skirt, if that's what that is. Can't see. These definitely, now these two look alike a little bit. Okay. But this lady here, these people, and these look like Americans. These look like so-called black folks. Okay. But you have someone over here doing this. You have all this stuff. I wonder if this has something to do with Cali. Um, Hence California, California, whatever. But yeah, so when you see something like this, again, this makes me think that this person is here to convince these people of washing themselves, making themselves clean, so they can enter the kingdom of God and become citizens or whatnot. It's just my opinion, okay? Of just by looking at it, just like right off the bat, okay? So here, okay? So this also is making me think of the Sheo, okay? These people are what? The dragon or the serpent is fighting or devouring the lion, okay? Again, this is another something that I'm thinking. Even the image that I showed on Facebook a couple of days ago about uh, with the American Aborigines on a map, um, and they're holding up the sign. I guess I think it was for America or maybe South America, for somewhere in the Americas. And then you saw them pointing their arrows at two lions that were in a submissive stance on the other side of the image. And so you see here that now these people are taking and dumping these weapons and dumping some people into the lake of fire. Almost seemed like to me, or in a lower status. They're going down into a lower status. And then this reminds me also of the Sheo. Okay. This reminds me of the Sheo. And then there's always the platform there, the division or whatever. And then the beast. Look at this. And then you have these beasts of the field here on top. Okay. But again, who knows? You have your bricks for Freemasonry. Again, I don't uh sit here and act like I know everything about these things, but it's just the small details that you know are reoccurring that have to do with these people, and you see them in the backgrounds of a lot of things that they have something to do with, especially when it comes to psyops and stuff like that. Certain colors, patterns. I'm someone that picks up on that stuff regardless. Okay, I really have a really good eye, and because of the information that I've obtained, point certain things out. I've been always that way since a little girl. I've been very observant of things in my area and things like that. And that's not bragging or anything, but I'm trying to tell you guys that you all have these gifts. You just have to choose to hone in on them and use them. And again, I think we got so far away from common sense because every time you say something or you feel some kind of way, even when it comes to something of a higher status like court or something like this, or when it comes to dealing with these people, we've been taught that it's not official, it's not documented, or that's not the way that it's read. Or when you're in school and you feel like a what do you call it, a definition or something, you're trying to understand it, but since it doesn't say it there, that will get you the answer wrong if you go and use other information to get your answer. So it's and that's why I think that today they keep people, they issue the books on people that they want you to do research on. They don't want you to go online and start looking. So this is why they use Penguin and all those other book companies to issue the books to the children, so that when you do the research, you're doing it from that dictated version of the storyline, that you're not going online pulling some old other shit up and coming doing your presentation with that in there. Okay, so again, this reminds me of people being thrown or cast out into the lake of fire. This is just my opinion. Okay, and down here you see it burning in the Sheol. In the bottom you have the arches here that you see, several of them behind George Washington in that Freemason or Illuminati picture of him. You have the what do you call these things? You know, the columns, in a sense. Okay, so that's all. Um, and then let me do something really quick. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. So here's one here. Image of the thieves guild armor. And here you go. I don't know if this is some video game or something, but again, video games speak a lot of truth too. I think people think they're for entertainment purposes only, but they are dealing with your subconscious, and they are having a lot of things that are symbolic. Okay. So even we seen that guy with the feathers or whatever on his shoulders here. Same thing, all of this stuff is symbolic for something here. Okay. So then you have him having his sash on. Same thing. This sash, the way it's laying, everything Reminds me of the sashes that a lot of the later Native Americans wore, when they were all dressed up with different with men's clothing then. Okay, because is that also the armor? Because they were dressing like the Europeans in a lot of these images that I'm going to show you. So, and then you they have the belt here. But again, would this be of a warrior here? Okay. Um, so I'm noticing things like that. Noticing things like this. I always look to the east. So, like I said the other day, what is it? Where's that? The east? The east of the garden, where God planted the man that He wanted to keep the garden in the east in Washington D.C. Possibly. Just wondering, or the District of Columbia or whatever. I mean, I don't know. And then this one here says, let's see, sons of light worldwide. And I think these are two hands holding each other, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this. Okay. So when it says something about, and that's what I had to learn in some of my studies, with looking into these people, um, that, okay, here, that when I was doing genealogy on members of the Bible and looking in their family tree to match up all these people, I had to start then looking at other public figures at that time that would have been in the same societies, the same groups as some of these people in history, in order to see that a brother could also be talking about a brother from another mother or father. A brother could be your brother in Freemasonry, or your brother in, so all those ritualistic things that you hear when Jesus is talking to people and gathering them together and saying, for these secret meetings, and they're having to do things that seem like they're ritualistic, or put certain things on or take things off. Like the thing about the taking off their, I did something on it a while back ago. That part is kind of creepy to me and weird. But and some of the things, the foul things that we hear that these people might have to do again in order to enter some of these levels. And everybody, everybody's not going to know. Everybody thinks that they know something about these things. Again, I don't even really know about them. I'm just pointing them out. But I have to go ahead and take in the fact that a lot of this stuff I may not know. And if we do know it, it's probably not what it really is. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm amazing. No, 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 no. Well, if you were this level in this caste system that I'm talking about, you wouldn't be sitting here talking to me online. And you wouldn't, and I wouldn't think, from what I've read about the information, and that it is a secret supposedly, I don't think that you would be over here talking to us about anything. So again, just like with any job or anything, I can say, "Oh, I'm a part of this company," but it's kind of like, when I go too far with a customer, if I'm just a cashier at a store, you be looking at her like, "Damn, this girl acting like this her business." You know what I'm saying? She acting like, or when people supposed to give you, even I've heard stories about this unemployment thing. You acting like it's your damn money that you about to be giving somebody. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? So again, some of the protocols that have been called to happen at some of these hospitals. You are just the nurses and stuff, so you can say what you want to say about, what you know in the hospital and whatever when it comes to these things. But at the end of the day, you are just serving the company. They are going to tell you what to do. And at the top of that pyramid, when it comes to the owners and the CEOs and stuff, one knows a little bit more than the other. So the owner knows exactly why they're doing something. They have to put it in terms so that the CEO and the partners and shit know about it. And then they have to go put it in another term where the people, the managers and the HR people would know about it. And then they get the message delivered to the workers. And then the workers just follow the orders. So again, they don't know when, why, whatever, whatever. They just have to do what they're told to do. They don't even know all the time why they're doing what they're told to do. That's what I'm saying about everything has a pyramid scheme. The Board of Education, they know certain shit that even if you're a principal in a school, you don't know. You're the lower half of the spectrum. You're not going to know everything or why they did this or whatever. Most of your job is just to take the information and follow the orders. Then by the time it gets down to the teachers, it's been whitewashed, or it's been, you know what I'm saying? Uh, it has been taken down to a notch where you want, or a level where you want these people to enter or take in or understand. Okay. So, um, I just wanted to say that because everything has the caste system in it. Everything has a pyramid scheme. Every business has a part of this pyramid scheme. And so unless you're the sole the sole owner, you don't know everything that happens at the top. So when it comes to these secret societies, even if you think that you one of the people at a lower level or to some degree, you don't know shit about what's going on at the top, or else it wouldn't be a secret society. Okay, so that's just basic the level of understanding about a structure and how the shit works without being in your feelings. That's just it. You might have some privileges. You might be able to go here and be a part of the club, but this is what owners do to make their people feel good so that they can continue to use them for whatever services they're providing to the company, and so that they can feel like they are somebody and they know something when all in all they really don't. Okay? So that's when it goes to going back of how deep this shit goes or not. You know what I'm saying? I know that if the police is wearing some of these symbols on their shit right now, regardless of if you think that it was ours at one point in time, it's not working in our favor right now. You see what I'm saying? It's not. So again, I can't. I'm not going to be able to tell you if it was something that was original to us or introduced to us. I don't like doing that. But I can follow history until now and see that the people that are supposedly doing these things to us are riding around with these symbols. I see that when they met American Aboriginals or people in the Americas or natives or indigenous people, they were giving these things to them. Okay. So again, I don't know. See. Okay. So, um, so let's see. And I do know when it comes to looking back at any of this stuff, the more prominent pictures and images that we're going to get of these people are people that are heavily involved with these groups. So again, they're going to preserve information that has to do with these people because these are the later versions of these groups. They don't have that much preservation of the original people. These are natives or $5 Indians or foreign people dressed as the same people that were in that, where they learned the customs and the things of these people, and now they're portraying them or using them in a watered down fashion, so that they can act as though they are these people. Okay, so again, you see all of these people. There's a sash here. He has the sword. You know what I'm saying? He has this ruffly thing right here, like George Washington has on his shirt. What does all this stuff mean? They're all doing it. You think it's style. You think it's style or something. And I'm sorry to say, even look, Creek Tribe. This has to be later on, or it could have been previous. But let's go ahead and look at what the time what the times was. Because when they show you ancient Egypt, they show it to you. Some of the people are very meek looking and simple with their dress, but then the people that are higher up have a lot of different doodads and stuff. I don't know why I just said that, but they have a lot of different stuff. That they have on. Let's see. Let's see. But these people are definitely dressed like Europeans. And even though he looks like Mooney, I think, that actor or comedian. Let's see. Creek Indians Confederacy. Okay, so here we go. They're Confederate. A confederacy forming the largest division of the Muskogean family. Okay, let's see. I want to see something about like a date or something. Okay, for more than a century before their removal to the West. So for more than a century. Wait, let's see. Nothing certain can be said of their previous condition or of the time when the Confederacy was established. Oh, it can't, huh? See, and this is what I'm saying. And see how the names changed. So your name ain't just changed from Indian to black and it changed from all this shit right here. And they just take and switch and change. And we're dealing with people that speak different languages and use different tongues. So things are going to be a little bit different here. Okay, nothing certain can be said of the previous conditions. Really? See, now if they saying that means they got something to do with you. You understand what I'm saying? Or of the time when the Confederacy was established. But it appears from the narrative of De Soto's expedition. So since we're going to say De Soto, I know that he saw so-called black folks when he wrote about what he saw when he came to the America, that he seen dark-skinned people. So again, DeSoto saying he's seen so-called Negroes here in America, and then they're saying nothing certain can be said. This is how you know that it's a cover-up. Okay, so let's see. That leagues almost several of these towns existed in 1540. Okay, over which head chiefs presided. See, over which head chiefs. Well, what are these head chiefs? Again, are they the original? Is this what the original people called their chieftain? Or is this someone that was put in place there by foreigners or someone who infiltrated the group to preside there, like it says in Genesis? You see what I'm saying? So among several of these towns existed in 1540. Okay. And then now it says over which head chiefs presided. Okay. Of these towns. Which, when did the head chiefs reside there in 1540, or you're saying over the last couple of years? Okay, so from more than a century before their removal to the west. Okay, uh, okay, for more than a century before their removal to the west, between 18. Oh, okay, so here we go. Okay, so that's not that much of a different. What we're talking about, 1700s. Okay, okay. So between 1836, okay, Indian removal, 1830 and 31 or 3031, in 1840, the people of Creek Confederacy occupied some 50 towns. Okay, so again, in order to be occupying some towns in the 1840s, at that point in time, I still feel that some of our people may have been still in power in some places, and only later removed. But who knows? Okay. Uh, in which were spoken six distinct languages. Okay. And you'll see these Muskogee, Hittite. So maybe we're talking about French. It's people that had something commingling with French. Because again, whenever I see Hittite, um, I'm thinking biblical. Yeah, 1 second, and I'm thinking Haiti. Okay. Yuchi, Natchez, Shawnee. Okay, and then the first three were of Muskogee.
What am I saying? No, I need to.
Okay, I'm coming.